Hello everybody, Martin Radner here from Radner Law Group, and today we're going to be discussing the Cardi B incident with the microphone. But before we jump into that, please like and subscribe to this channel. Let's keep this channel growing so we can continue bringing you this analysis. So the reports are, and some of the videos have already come out, that Cardi B, during a concert, one of the fans threw water on her, and she went and threw her microphone at that fan. Now, there's also different reports about who that microphone hit. Did the microphone hit the person she was intending that microphone to hit, or did it hit a second person who was an innocent bystander who didn't do anything wrong? And is that going to make a difference in her culpability? So let's take each thing separately. So we have the question of criminal culpability and we have the question of civil culpability. So let's first discuss the criminal. So can she be charged criminally for this conduct? And the answer is yes, she could be charged because she committed at least one or both of assault and battery. Now, what's the difference between assault and battery? So if you look at the Nevada statute, the assault is defined as intentionally placing another person in the reasonable apprehension of immediate bodily harm, which simply means that you're placing somebody else in the fear of getting hit. So you don't actually have to hit the person. If you just raise your hand about to smack somebody and that person feels the apprehension that you're about to hit them, that's an assault. You don't actually have to carry through and actually hit the person. It's already considered an assault, but just by you being in fear that the person's going to hit you. So that's assault. And when you do assault with not a deadly weapon, so if you do it with something that's not a deadly weapon, so here the question is a microphone considered a deadly weapon? Well, I guess it could be used as a deadly weapon if you use it the right way, but generally speaking, a microphone is not going to be considered a deadly weapon. What we understand deadly weapons is guns or knives, things like that. But a microphone is not going to be generally considered a deadly weapon, and therefore it's going to be under the charge of an assault with something that is not a deadly weapon, which is under Nevada law, you can be guilty of a misdemeanor. And a misdemeanor in Nevada law is going to subject you to a penalty of 6 months in jail or less, or a fine of $1,000. So not a crazy charge, and assuming that this is her first offense, which it probably is, she'll be able to work out certainly a sweetheart deal if she actually gets charged with the assault. Now, the assault is, again, only if the person actually saw it coming. If the person didn't even see Cardi B, let's say she was just distracted, she was on her phone, she was taking the video, she didn't realize that Cardi B was even going to be throwing her microphone at her, so then she cannot even be guilty of an assault because she didn't even know that it's coming. She was never in fear of an impending hit because she didn't even know that it was coming. So technically, that could be a question whether even Cardi B will be subject to the assault charge. Now, let's move on to battery. So battery is the next charge that she can be charged with, and that is that, according to Nevada law, it's any willful and unlawful use of force or violence upon the person of another. So it has to be willful. These are what we call intentional torts, an assault and a battery. These are intentional crimes. These are things that you do with intent to hurt the person. So it has to be willful, meaning that she obviously wanted to do this action. I mean, Cardi B actually wanted to go and hit that person with the microphone. That's willful. And obviously unlawful. It is unlawful to hit another person for no reason. So those two parts of the statute are certainly satisfied. And it's use of force or violence. So this is force. Certainly using a microphone to hit somebody is a force and it's violence, and it's upon the person of another. So even if this person didn't even realize that it was coming, that as long as she got hit, she was the subject of a force of violence by Cardi B, which was willful and unlawful. So then Cardi B could be prosecuted and charged with battery. And here, again, it doesn't make a difference whether the person saw it coming or not. She was the victim here and got hit by that microphone. Now here, where it gets a little interesting. Now, there's some reports coming out that the person that threw water and who presumably Cardi B was trying to hit was actually not the person who got hit. It was actually somebody else. It was an innocent bystander sitting next to her that got hit. So now the question is, okay, well, you just told me that assault and battery is an intentional crime. Where is the intent? Here, Cardi B had the intent to hit person A, and now she instead hit person B. She had no intent at all to hit person B. So maybe you can argue that and say, well, she should not be guilty of a battery or an assault because she did not intend to hit that person. However, there is the doctrine of transferred intent, which means that as long as you intended to commit this crime to person A and person A last minute stepped out of the way and you committed the crime on person B, we will transfer your intent that you had for person A onto person B. And therefore, you will be held criminally culpable for the damage that you did to for the damage and also the crime that you committed on person B. So that's not going to help Cardi B get out of it by saying, well, she only intended to hit person A and instead hit person B. So that's when it comes to criminal culpability, she is certainly, what it appears for, is guilty for battery. Question is going to be assault, whether the person saw it coming, was scared that it was going to had apprehension that it was coming. So that part, she is going to be, held criminally liable if the person wants to press charges. Now, let's talk about civil liability. Is she going to be civilly liable for this person that she hit? And generally speaking, yes, there is a tort called assault and battery. So not only can you be held liable to that you committed a crime, not only a crime called assault and battery, but there's also a tort. A tort is something that you can sue for. It's something that someone did wrong to you and you suffered damage. You can go ahead and sue that person for the tort of what they did wrong. So here, assault and battery, she certainly could be sued for assault and battery. Not only could she be sued by the person who she was going after, let's say person A, who she was actually intending to hit the mic, and that person was apprehensive that she was going to get a blow from a mic. So she could sue, person A can sue Cardi B, and also person B, who actually got that microphone slammed on her. She could also sue Cardi B for, again, the doctrine of transferred intent. Now, there's also another area here where, in this scenario which I played out for you, is person B can also sue Cardi B for negligence, because not only do we use the doctrine of transferred intent, but also the fact that Cardi B is throwing a microphone in a crowded area, that is negligent action. Meaning she's not using due care for all the safety of all the people that are involved. Even if you can say that she did not intend to actually hit person A or person B, but still, the fact that she's throwing a microphone, a normal person would understand that it's possible that if you throw a microphone into a crowded area, someone's going to get hurt, even if you didn't intend for that specific person. So there's also a count for negligence. Now, the question always is, in a civil case, is it worthwhile bringing a lawsuit? Now, normally, in a civil case, you have to prove two things. You have to prove liability, and you also have to prove damages. So, is the person liable for their conduct? You have to prove that the person was either intended to do that harm or negligent. In this case, it's pretty obvious that there certainly is that part that is satisfied. She was certainly liable for her conduct. She intended to do what she did, and she was certainly negligent in the way that she acted. But now the question is going to be, but what about damages? What damages are there? So if that microphone would have landed in her eye and blinded her, then there's real damages there. The person's going to be blind for the rest of their life because of Cardi B's actions. That's a case that can be worth, millions and millions of dollars. But what about if it just banged into her shoulder and she was a little sore for the day, she took some Motrin, and then she's really back to herself? Is there any lawyer that's going to take that case and sue Cardi B? I mean, what are the damages already in that situation? So the answer is that in that situation, there's really not much in terms of physical damages, right? There's certain elements of damages that you get to claim if you go in front of a jury, and physical pain and suffering, mental anguish, certain different elements. And if the microphone just bounced off of you, it's not going to be such a case for a lot of money and not a lot of damages. But in this situation where you have Cardi B, who is such a celebrity, and there's a lot of publicity, and she has a reputation to protect, when you sue her, so then she's going to want to protect her image. She's going to want to protect her reputation. She doesn't want a lawsuit that's going to drag out for years, and she's going to, have the cameras in the courtroom, and everyone's going to be hearing about this case for years and years and years, and that can really damage her reputation. So, an attorney can look at this case and say, look, let's say the person that got hit by the microphone didn't get hit all that bad, and she's not damaged all that bad, but the attorney can know that, look, if I sue Cardi B, she's not going to be interested in defending this lawsuit, and this can cause real damage to her reputation, and therefore I'm going to file the lawsuit anyway because, you know, I'm going to get some publicity out of it. My law firm's going to get some publicity out of it. And at the end of the day, Cardi B doesn't want to go through this, so she'll offer much more money than a regular person would offer in this situation with these type of damages. So it's still likely that a lawyer can go through that thought process and therefore still file suit, even if the situation is that the damages are not that bad. And that's what it appears like. It doesn't appear that she was blinded or that there's some serious damage that happened to the person that got the mic thrown at them. It seems like it was just something that bounced off of the person. You know, maybe they were sore for a little bit and there's not serious damages. But like I said, an attorney could take that and still drag it out and make Cardi B want to get rid of this lawsuit and just pay something that the case is really not worth. Okay, so that's my take on the Cardi B situation. Again, please like and subscribe to this channel, and looking forward to next time.